artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation for another live here on the ONYXCON Network. Your 501c3 nonprofit arts and creative lifestyle. Arts and creative lifestyle, multi-niche, multi-elements, multi-shows, mini-shows, network, social media network. From here on YouTube at ONYXCON, on Instagram at ONYXCON, on fan base at ONYXCON1, or wait a minute, nope, I mixed up which one I had to add a 1 to. I think fan base is just straight ONYXCON, at ONYXCON. TikTok, ONYXCON1, the numeral 1, okay? And who else am I forgetting? Because we got a lot of channels. Back to Instagram. We have at ONYXCON, which you should subscribe to for 99 cents a month, which is $11.88 a year. Even in inflation, that is a very decent way of supporting ONYXCON. It ain't much, but it goes a long way. If you got it, give it. We appreciate it. The other channels you can follow are ONYXCON Style, ONYXCON Outdoors, ONYXCON Fitness, ONYXCON Fitness, Style, Outdoor, Music, ONYXCON Music, and ONYXCON Rides. Okay, so you got all of those plus the main at ONYXCON, and that's all Instagram. Okay, if you didn't know, now you know. Today is a big day for sports. I'm sure you know or might know. You got Mike Tyson versus, oh snap, what's the boy name? Honestly, I didn't know nothing about him until this fight. Until this thing popped up, I didn't know about the other fighter. I really didn't. Yeah, Mike Tyson versus Jacob Paul, right? Jacob, yeah. Too much of it. Jake Paul is his name. I'm just giving him all kind of names. Jake Paul. And I found out, Jake Paul. And I found out that Jake Paul, which I didn't know this, I didn't realize he's Puerto Rican. I said, oh, damn. I didn't know. I didn't know. Something about the way they were promoting the fight. You know, it's funny how they do that with boxing. It's like, depending on the situation, they sometimes get all into ethnicity and try and make it a war between races and stuff like that. But they did not really mention, or at least I didn't see a lot of hype, pre-hype, about him being Puerto Rican. But then I noticed in some other promos, they had him, you know, he was wearing trunks that had the Puerto Rican flag and things like that. I said, oh, okay, all right, okay. All right, I just didn't know. And I know Puerto Ricans can look all kind of ways, so that didn't surprise me in terms of him looking the way he did. But I admit, because they weren't hyping it and because of his energy, like I had never heard him say anything in Spanish or anything to, you know, not to say all Puerto Ricans know Spanish, because that's absolutely not true. But I just felt like, you know, hey, if he's going to push that part of his identity, it would seem like he would, you know, do a little something to speak to mi gente. You know what I'm saying? That's just was required to get that audience to respect you. Generally, you gotta, you know, you gotta come with it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. It seems like lately they're trying to push that up a little bit more about his identity to share. Hey, you know, he's Puerto Rican, by the way. I was like, oh, okay. But because they funny about that. If they get a Latino who can pass for white, which Jake could. And when I say white, I'm saying that's a, you know, again, these are constructs, racial constructs. But when the average person looks at him, that's the first thing they're going to think if they don't know. And then, you know, people like to assume a lot and they love to categorize things real easily. They don't like complicated equations, but I'm all for it. I think the more complicated, the more reality of what people are. People are actually way more complicated than just surface level what you think you're looking at. So I love when people get into more of their real ethnic background and stuff like that and showcase that and share that and whatever. So I don't know. It just I'm gonna see how that all gets played out tonight. I'll be watching because I finally got Netflix back in my life a few months ago. I had been off of Netflix for years because I couldn't see the logic in the amount of money it was starting to cost. It's like up to 20 something dollars. The only reason I'm even back in with them is because I had a deal. All these companies getting smart about these deals. They give you these bundles and these deals and all this stuff. It's like, okay, wait a minute, you're gonna give me what, and what? Oh, for how much? But how long is the contract? See, that's how they get you, because the contract gonna be like a couple of years. You're gonna forget about it. You done overpaid for something by the time it's over. But they know how to play us. They know how to get us. I mean. So they got me back in. I have no regrets though, because I've been able to, catch up on a lot of this stuff that people be talking about all the time, all the hype on certain shows, and oh, it's so good, and this movie was so good, that good. So, and then go back and even rewatch some stuff that I enjoy. See some stuff I haven't seen in a while. Like I was talking about Bright a little while back, and how much, not a while back, like yesterday and the day before, because I started watching it again. I finished it too. And I said on one of my other lines, I said that to me is a not just a Netflix classic, but a film classic. That's a really great movie. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's Bright with Will Smith. And I always forget the name of the actor who played the orc, who was his cop partner. But it's this alternate universe where orcs, elves, and other medieval European folklore concepts are part of everyday reality, and it's in Los Angeles. So it's like Lord of the Rings meets Training Day, because even the energy of it was like Training Day, because the orc is like, he's the outcast. He's he's the first of his kind on this police force for LAPD, and everybody's giving him a hard time and stressing him out and stuff. But it's just, man, that's just a complete concept. It really is. And when I finally finished watching it again, I said, this deserves a part two. It's overdue for a part two. And I do not understand why or who at the top, with all the great numbers it got, because I saw that it had good ratings. How did this not get a green lit for a part two? I mean, I'm in the biz, so I know how weird it can be in Hollywood, but that doesn't, I'm no less bewildered and wondering what the hell they thinking than the average fan when we see some of our favorite shows get dismissed, or certain concepts that should have a follow-up just get dismissed. And I think, I've analyzed it a lot, and I've come to conclusions that sometimes the audience for certain projects and the love for it is something that they took a gamble on to begin with. They don't expect a lot of success from it to begin with. They think, well, we're prepared for it to have marginal success, and they've got all the money set up for it to have marginal success. Yeah, we'll bring out the DVD later, or we'll send it to whatever other means of stream or whatever, and we'll make up the money difference or anything lost, but it'll do average numbers. It's kind of like, it's that stock that may not perform as well as the blue chip stock, but it's going to do okay, and it just keeps us afloat. And that's how they're looking at it. But then when it overperforms, when it outperforms what they've statistically created in their mind, thinking, oh yeah, this won't do so great. And when it's outnumbered, it's like, oh snap, we weren't prepared for this. We weren't prepared for this. And what ends up happening is, you got an A-list star, Will Smith, involved. He's the man. He's the lead man in this project. That's the face that's gonna make it. Because the other thing is it's like Lord of the Rings, Training Day, and Bad Boys. Because the Bad Boys element is in there too, and the way they make jokes and stuff in Bright, very much so. They took bits and pieces of how him and Martin Lawrence, how they interact as characters in Bad Boys franchise, and they brought it into Bright. But it's its own thing, and that's what I love about it. No matter how much it's influenced or what they pulled from to create the concept, it is totally its own thing, and that's what makes it so damn cool. But they messed around, like I say. I think when they took it for granted and it became a big hit, it got a cult fandom of its own. It did great numbers. Now they're like, oh snap, what are we gonna do with this? We weren't prepared to do it. I mean, we left it, like the writers were smart. They were left it open to be a straight up follow up. It's wide open for a sequel, and even a trilogy. Shoot, it could be Bright could go it could go hard. It could go like Fast and Furious. I mean, you know, very few things are going to make 10 films out of a franchise, but I genuinely could see 3 exactly. Definitely 3 for Bright. It deserves it. It needs it. And while Will is still doing stuff like Bad Boys, because, you know, the older everybody get, they're going to get to a point where like, man, look, I ain't, even with stunt people, I'm not going to be hopping over cars and doing all that other stuff. You know, it could be looking great shape, everything, but your body gets more, you know, it takes longer to heal. You know what I'm saying? You get a bump, it hurts longer. You know what I mean? So you going, you know, older actors going to be like, you know what? And so then the price goes up. Yesterday's price is not today's price, like Fat Joe say. So I think that's the other part. A-list star, whatever he got paid for that, it was a success. Y'all want to do a part 2? Okay, my price went up. Like I say, they're not prepared for that. They expected it to be, you know, okay. Just, you know, another one of those things that Will did that people remember like, oh, yeah, that was cool. And then, you know, that was that. On to the next. No. You got a phenomenon. You got something that they could do toys, they could do art statues, they could, I mean, that's what I want to see, all of that, you know, t-shirt lines, like where the t-shirts at? I ain't never seen a Bright t-shirt. I want one. I want one with the original poster art on it, you know what I'm saying? Sublimated printing, you know? But you don't, but like I say, they weren't prepared for that. When they're prepared for it, you go in the Target or the Walmart, and it's already got the stuff on the shelf before the movie even comes out, before the show even comes out. Because that's the ones they betting on for the long run. That's the blue chip ones. That's the ones they say, oh yeah, this is the one right here. We ain't taking a risk. We know this is gonna be it. And then when that don't work, which happens, they end up with a whole bunch of stuff they can't sell that goes to the bargain shops and then on overseas where they can maybe make some money off it. One way or another, they're gonna figure out how to make some money off it. But the bottom line is, it ain't guaranteed. But when you got something, it's like they got to restructure how they do business. They've been doing it this way for years, and I just don't think it's smart business when you got hit concepts. You've seen it time and time again throughout the history of film. I mean, all the way back to the 60s with Star Trek. A lot of people who are not Trekkers may not know this history, but Star Trek, as we know it to be the phenomenon it is, almost didn't happen. You know, Gene Roddenberry, the creator, did a black and white version. That was the very first. It was just a pilot. The pilot didn't do so well, but it did get a cult fandom immediately. There were a lot of people back in that time who loved it. And they shut it down, and the fans, it was one of the first examples of fans, going rah crazy, like, what the hell? No, we want that back. We want that back. People petitioning for it kind of thing. And the studio exec said, wait a minute. We must have slept on something here. We took it down, talking about numbers on our end. These people don't give a damn about what our numbers say. And they saying, we here for it. You need to bring this back. The numbers will grow if we give it a chance. That's exactly what happened. They brought it back, gave it a better situation. And, you know, the cast and everything got changed to what we know it to be with the first leading cast of Star Trek, with the Technicolor version, the color version. And it was a hit. Point blank period. It was a hit. It took time to grow into itself as a hit, even with the other parts of it. You know, I'm not going to get all off into that. I'll be talking forever and ever, my love of that. And because I did a whole series on the history of black actors in Star Trek called the UAC UNC. And yes, I mean UNC, like the Egyptian Kemetic symbol, eternal life. And so that was actually that was my last major body of work in an art exhibition, visual art, that I did before I transitioned completely into, well, not completely, but mostly into being an actor, writer, producer, and doing all the things that I do behind and in front of the camera in Hollywood stuff, or just film in general, not necessarily Hollywood, because I love independent film. And so, yeah, I got a rich love for Star Trek, and I am a Trekker, you know what I'm saying? Live long and prosper to all my Trekkers. But yeah, you know, so I love when that happens. I like when the studio's execs think they know how human beings think, because they want some robotic mess, and then they get proven wrong. Like, wait, no, that ain't what the people want. You need to listen to the people, damn it. You know, and when they do that, they win. When they don't, they may not lose immediately, but they lose eventually. It's like, it's not worth the amount of millions and time that go into this stuff to take it for granted. You need to listen to what the people are saying, you know. And more importantly, the right people, because if you talk about the masses can't agree on nothing. You got to deal with specific groups, not test groups. Like you literally specify who should be in the theater. Like when I went to premieres and I was invited because of ONYXCON, that was smart for the companies that were doing it, because they was like, okay, this is a comic book based movie. This is a superhero sci-fi. This is a horror. This is what ONYXCON is gonna love this. Whoever Joseph brings in is going to already be fans of these genres, so we don't have to worry about the right audience sitting in seats to give an opinion. We're not going to invite the woman who says, I hate Marvel and DC, and all I want to do is watch Lifetime movies to this premiere. She's the wrong audience. We're not going to invite the dude who, I don't really even watch movies, man. I just be watching football. We're not inviting him. Those people are not invited to this, ONYXCON is extremely well-rounded. We'll go to the football game, we'll watch the sci-fi movie, and I don't know, if the right people are in it and there's a good plot, we might sit through the Lifetime movie, but that's at the end of the road, to be honest. But no, I'm just saying, like, it takes a well-rounded audience, and it takes audiences that can be specific and love certain genres to give you an honest opinion of things when you're looking for feedback. And if companies would have, focus on that, they'll win a hell of a lot more. So yeah, y'all. Man, what is it? It's so crazy. It's cool outside, but the sun is blaring, right? So sitting in your car with the sun on you, it's hot as a mother. It is so hot right now because the sun is right here at me. I almost want to get out and walk around because I don't like that feeling. That's the one thing about fall and spring in Atlanta. You get that juxtaposition of both. If you at the right little angle and the wind ain't hitting you, you don't feel none of the cool, so you don't even realize how cool it is outside. And if the sun hitting you just right, it feels warm as I don't know what. And that's what it feels like sitting here right now with the sun coming at me like this. And the wind is not going the direction of where I'm at, so I'm not getting that like I want. Yeah. But yo, what's y'all thoughts on the bout tonight, Tyson and Paul? What you think? I've said before and I'll say again, I think Mike is gonna get it. I want to see him get it just for his skills, but mentally Mike is gone, man. I done seen him in so many different interviews and stuff his mental is so jacked up that as an individual, I ain't feeling Mike, and I'm neither here nor there on Paul. I don't know enough about him to care. So it's more like, the only thing about Paul I would say is him being cocky and young and thinking he ought to drop the old man just because he's older. I'm like, that alone is why I'm like, man, please, I'm with Mike. Because I think even if it's a TKO, that might be the only way he wins. Because if he out there trying to get a knockout, man, this is the knockout king, man. This dude is lethal forever. Mike is just that monster. And that part of his reality, he is a monster. He's man. He's a cunning, like a wild predator, man. He knows what he's doing. He's built to do everything he does. And he understands his body, as they say, the sweet science. The sweet science for, pugilism, for boxing. He is that dude. I'm telling you, he is that dude. So I think, it might come down to if the young boy can stand, he talking about, he took the, if y'all seen the little promo hype where he jumped up on the stage at the weigh-in and jumped in front of Mike's face and Mike slapped the shit out of him. And he talking about in an interview, I didn't even feel it. I didn't even feel it. No, you felt it. Anytime, they slow down a bit of the punch or something and you see the person's head go, it was like, you saw that head go, and yeah, it wasn't no, and it just went on by a stiff neck. No, man, that neck moved like, ooh, wow. You played it off. You playing tough, but guess what? That's going to be a big difference with them gloves on. Balled up fist going to feel a lot different tonight. I'm telling you, Paul in for it. He going to catch some. I really think the only way he going to win is TKO. Technical, counting punches, all that kind of stuff. That's it. But as far as a slugfest, Mike ain't the one, y'all. Mike is not the one at any age. That is not the one. So that's the situation I'm looking forward to with it. We'll see how it goes, and I'll probably do a reaction video or follow up of some sort, breaking down my thoughts on it tomorrow for y'all. You know what I'm saying, depending on how it goes. It's gonna definitely be the talk for a few days, if not all the rest of the weekend. Cause this Friday, yeah, it'll be the whole talk for the weekend on into Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday. You know how it goes. You're lucky if anything goes beyond a weekend conversation. You gotta really shake some stuff up out here on social media to stay in the news and stay a talk of the town, talk of the world. But I do believe this, Tyson Paul thing gonna be the conversation, definitely all over the weekend and on through the Wednesday. We'll see, and maybe the whole week on into next Friday if Mike mess around and win, because then they're gonna be like, I can hear all of the different vantage points of analysts, folks trying to say, it'll be all kind of conversation about ageism and how age doesn't matter if you train into the level he's on, and it'll be all that conversation. And then there'll be a million different whoever is endorsing the fight, saying that they're the reason why Mike did it or whatever, because he drank their drink or ate their vitamin or what, all of that stuff. All of that stuff. Stuff. Oh, man. I'm not a fan of supplements and vitamins, because I've had moments in my life where I wondered if that was causing me a certain issue, so I let go of all that. I just eat. Just eat the right food, man. Eat what's right for you. Drink what we all gotta drink, this thing called water. Water. Are you hydrated? And if you're older or any age and you got a water deficiency, do that test that we used to do when I used to work with senior citizens. And the nurses used to come by and say, "Let me see your hand, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so." And they pull their finger up, pull the skin up on the back of their hand like this. If it don't drop back down immediately like that, if that man's sitting up like a little mountain, you seconds away from death. Like, you are so dry you can strike a match in the inside of your mouth. Like, you need to drink some damn water. You finna die. For real, for real. And we used to tease them, and the seniors get so, what you talking about? I remember the cutest thing this lady ever told me, and I knew her too. I knew her daughter and the older lady. She was the mom of a good artist friend of mine. And I did that test, and man, it was scary. Her skin was just sitting up. It was all the skin be wrinkled when you get that age. She was like 80 something, and the skin was just sitting up. I said, "Miss Such and Such, you gotta drink some water. You dehydrated." She looked at me. "Oh, go jump in a lake." I said, "Oh my God." How you go? Oh, it's the cutest, most terrible thing. Because I'm like, no, you the one need to jump in the lake and drink all the water. You up here telling somebody jump in the lake. I was like, boy, I tell you, old folk be crazy. I said, no. And she was the sweetest little lady, but she was getting more and more mean the older she get. They get like that sometimes, cranky and crotchety. Man, plus she had Alzheimer's, so I was dealing with people who had Alzheimer's. So. It's some serious stuff, y'all. Serious stuff. Much respect and shout out to anybody who's helping a loved one or caretaking somebody who has dementia or Alzheimer's. Trust me, that is no joke. It is real, serious, heart-wrenching, stressful as hell. Those people need all the support, vacations and getaways and everything they can when they can get a chance, because they go through it. I'm trying to tell you, they go through it. Speaking from real experience, I used to work with them. It was something else. And I was teaching them art. Imagine that. Like, wow. All right, everybody, take out your pencils and brushes. We're going to do. Half of them sleep, the other half looking at you like, did he say something to me? I mean, hey, you're going to get some comedy. If you don't laugh, you're going to cry. So you may as well laugh. Because it was something else. Something else. Man, what the hell's going on with my order today? I've been waiting forever, y'all. If you know my channel, I like to go live when I'm waiting on this work. What's they doing? Hold on, let me check the app. Talking about it's packing up. Talking about the order packing up. This man's been packing up for 20-something minutes. How long have I been on here? Yeah, I've been on here 24 minutes. Don't make no sense, y'all. Don't make no sense. Oh my goodness. But in other news, in other news, oh wow. In relationship goals in the art life, one of our different content elements. If you look through our feed, you're gonna see relationship goals in the art life. You're gonna see ONYXCON Outdoors Worldwide. You're gonna see ONYXCON Fishing Tournament, which is part of Outdoors Worldwide. You're gonna see murals and other public art, which is part of ONYXCON Outdoors Worldwide. You're gonna see music playlists when you look under the playlist, which is part of ONYXCON Music. Okay, you're gonna see interpretations and documentaries on music and the history of different things like that. Okay, ONYXCON Music. You're gonna see incredible rides, whether it be car, plane, boat, whatever. If it moves, y'all, if it gets you somewhere, from point A to point B or onto a location you're trying to get to, that's ONYXCON rides. So you're gonna see some of that content. We plan to get y'all more of that. I admit I don't get enough of that as I want to. Like, I mostly do a lot of shorts with that. Like, if I see a cool ride, I'll stop and I'll get the footage. Speaking of which, I need to edit. There's a video I've been needing to edit for weeks. I got so